Cosplay World. Welcome to another Monday questions and answers and all those good times. Awesome. Okay, so this is Sunday between commissions, so I need to clean this up for next Monday's project to start. But it's busy. I want to make sure I get this out in time. Hurrah! And this has to do with paint. So, I guess it's not a huge problem. Okay. Where's my paints? Did I move them? There we go. Paint. I got some black paint right here. And I got a crappy paintbrush. This is why I'm not allowed to use good paintbrushes. Because I destroy them. Anyway. Not the best painter, you may have guessed, but I think I do okay. I'm working at it. It's something I'm practicing and trying to get better at. I watch lots of videos like girl painting, how to paint things. But this question is specific about plastic, and I know how to paint plastic, or at least the techniques to get the paint to stick on and not look like crap. Alright, so typically you want to prime something. A color before you start with the detail bits, or at least block out the color. Then we have PVC sheeting, which I don't think a lot of people are, not so many people use because it's a more difficult material to get a hold of. But this is PVC pipe, and this is available everywhere. So I bet you they had a question, they wanted to know how to paint this. Now, the big problem here is this this lettering that looks terrible. When you paint over it, you can see through acrylic paint. I've been over this. Acrylic paint is transparent, so you can see the bit underneath. That's why you prime. Otherwise, you might have a tone that's different. That's why you prime. You choose your tone by black, gray, or white, usually. There's other ones, but those are the ones that are most common. Okay, but we want to get that off. Also, PVC plastic doesn't take super well to paint right away. It's very smooth, and smooth things don't take very well to paint. So you're gonna have to get a sponge brush and clean this off. Sorry, a sanding sponge, not a sponge brush. And we're gonna sand this off. Actually, this is a really old. This one's only for sponges. It's not gonna do a good job. Let's see if I can get a good one. Oh, one second, guys. Let me grab my bag, my box of sanding materials. Okay. So let's get a good one. I think this one's fairly new. Alright, yeah, that's a little better. But you can see it's kind of going away, even though this is still kind of an old one. There we go. And you actually kind of want to do this over the whole surface. That way it takes better to paint. And that's not really that hard to do. I hope you guys can see the difference there. And it'll take very well to paint. Another thing you can do is paint remover. We'll get rid of it, and I think nail polish remover too, if you have that. I actually figured out that my glue will take it off, but that's not a good plan. Don't do that. It's very expensive, also very chemically not smart. But anyway, you sand it up a bit, and it'll take better to paint. Pretty simple. Now, you don't always have to sand it. I have over the years figured out that with my heat gun I can texture the surface. This takes, I guess, a little practice, maybe something you'll notice when you're very up close, but when you look at it, it's got a very smooth texture. And I'm going to turn this on and it's going to destroy the sound. And as it heats up, the texture is going to change on the plastic. And you don't want to burn it. No, you don't want to burn it. I'm going to sand it as many times as I can. But if you look at it against the light, I'm reflecting it off the light over there, you can see the texture changes, and it starts to look more kind of leathery. Yes, very kind of leathery. There we go. It's a bit rougher than you would typically want to do this to plastic, but that texture is slightly different. That takes better to paint. That's something maybe not everyone will pick up on. You can do it with you can do this with this trick with PVC pipe too. If you're shaping the pipe while you're doing it, just keep that in mind. Well, since I'm heating the pipe up and shaping it, maybe I want to texturize it for when I'm working with it and painting it later. There you go. Those are a couple different ways to do it. I don't have the nail polish on hand. I don't have the paint thinner on hand, but trust me, you brush those on, it takes off. Also because I don't want to release more chemicals into the room. There's kind of already a few chemicals. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I guess, put some paint here and then I'm going to put some paint like here. Now you see how this is kind of, it when you paint it, you can see through it still. And then when you paint on this side, it takes a lot more to see through it. It's a lot better at this point than it is on like the sides. You can actually kind of see as I run my finger over it where I sanded. Let me see if I can bring this up to the camera so you can see it. Yeah, where it's darker in this section rather than in these. So there we go. Just a little example there. All right, I didn't further ruin my my brushes. I need to clean everything. Everything must be cleaned. Okay, guys. Real simple. The second question here is stilts. Now I have a video on lifts, and those are 6-inch lifts, and that's kind of where I'm comfortable as a cosplayer when I'm in my Big Macs and my robots and things like that. However, some cosplays need a bit more. Now, if you're not familiar with stilts or lifts, I can't recommend you going and starting practicing walking on full 2-foot stilts. This is what the person asked me. I want 2-foot stilts. That's kind of dangerous. So I think you wanna, as far as I can tell from how people explain to me how stilts work, you start with short stilts, and this actually takes time and practice in probably months, if not maybe a year or two, I don't know, of practice to get this up to the skill where you can walk around safely on 2-foot stilts. They're not something to be joking about. There's, break your ankle, leg, so on and so forth. And the person also asked, because they wanted to make their own. They wanted me to show them, they wanted to know how to make lifts that were that big rather than buying them. Now, the problem here is if you have screws and nuts and bolts and you have crappy wood, or maybe you don't have the best craftsmanship, I don't know. It seems to me if you have a skill in wood, you might already know how to put a stilt together. But you don't want that torsion on the plate, and you could splinter, you could crack, the screws come out, there could be just not enough force holding it together. Something happens that's unpredicted, and that thing breaks, and you're in trouble. You're in serious trouble. That seems to be a very good chance of a hospital trip. So I can't recommend you cheaping out. I think the cheapest way to go about this is to not have hospital trip. Okay? And I'd love to help you out, guys, but I think the cheapest way to do this is not to go to the hospital. Some of these costumes are pretty cool. Like, I think I've seen Jack from Nightmare Before Christmas. Now, it was a very slender character, and it was done very well, but the person was not in the costume itself. It was actually a puppet. It was a really cool puppet. The person's in a suit behind him. It did not take away from the effect of the costume itself. I believe this one is a Slender Man costume. If I had to do it myself, that's how I do it. I do a puppet. I'd make a guy, and then I would use kind of thin, maybe metal rods, maybe carbon fiber rods. I have those around here somewhere, some carbon fiber rods. Anyway, you use some kind of puppeting rod, and you puppet it around, okay? And as long as you're kind of not noticeable, you could be, even in plain clothes at a convention, it's not that noticeable that you're puppeting this thing. And I think that's the best way to go about this costume, in my opinion, is to avoid the dangers of a hospital trip. I hope it helps you. It may not be the answer you're looking for, but in my experience, I've had 2-foot stilts, and in fact, I have scars from 2-foot stilts climbing up a ramp. Right here. This is a scar right here from me wearing 2-foot stilts. They were wrapped around my leg, and I was trying to go up a ramp. Now, the problem here was the ramp was at an angle, and my feet were at an angle because they're flat on the surface, and obviously didn't work. And I was so far off the ground that my center of mass was not in the right spot, and I fell over. It was okay. I didn't hurt myself too badly, but I still have the scar to teach me that that was not a good plan. I hope I save you a scar, the person who asked the question. I hope I save other people who are considering this kind of costume a scar as well. It was actually quite painful too. Well, when you're all excited on stage, you got adrenaline going, so. But, okay guys, yeah. I think I'm going to end the rant there itself. Next thing is the rant about support. I try my best to help you guys out. I'd like if at all possible, for you to help me out. To tell your friends, your family, mostly your friends probably. Your family don't care. But share these videos. I'm gonna try and be helpful. I'm trying to give as much useful information in my experiences to you so that you can use it, save you some time, save you some effort, maybe money. We'll see how it goes. I can't guarantee everything though. I don't know. I want a thumbnail. That's what I really want, because my videos look like crap when I look at them. I'm like, what's this picture of me randomly with my hands like this? In fact, it's probably what this video is going to be, is me going like this, and the description is going to look weird. But send in your questions. Don't send your costumes into me. I have no space for them. Send your questions into me. It helps me, like, actually to interact with people is great, because usually I am just in this area making stuff, so talking to even people online is a big reprieve. Also, it helps me cover some questions I might not in regular videos, and then I can take these questions and put them on, and instead of writing up half a page or a couple paragraphs or even a paragraph, which takes me forever, I can link them to the video, and it's helpful to them. Saves me time, because again, guys, still dyslexic. Still, it'll be with me for a while, I bet. Anyway, this is a bit much. I'll let you go. Thanks for watching, guys. Good times to all. Button.